And we are live. We're back. Basketball is back. The Raptors are back. And guess what, kids? We are live and back as well. Canada Hoops Daily presents Wrap It Up. We are back. Huge shout to the people that might remember the Wrap It Up pod from some time ago. Just know, still here. My name is Sheldon Alexander, and I'm back. And so are the Raptors. Raptors with a huge win on opening night. I know you hear the music. Still had to bring back the track. Shouts to my guy AB with the track. And for those who are unaware, this is Canada Hoops Daily presents Wrap It Up, Raps Postgame show. I'm so excited to be back. This has been a lot of fun. And shout to the Raptors for giving us a dub. Just so you know, you can get this pod for now on the Twitter page. So make sure that you are following the Twitter page, which is at Can Hoops Daily on Twitter. You can also follow along on Instagram, which is at Canada Hoops Daily on Instagram, and sign up for the YouTube page. Right now, you can watch this though on my personal YouTube page, and that's just because right now we're gonna get back into the old Raptors fans that used to rock with me on the old Wrap It Up podcast. You know, the championship season, my guy Kawhi doing work. You might remember that. Well, we're back. You can follow along now on YouTube. Go log on to Sheldon Alexander's page, and that will then push you towards the Canada Hoops Daily YouTube page as well. Make sure you follow along there. We're just unable to live stream from there. Take some time for that to go through, you know? But in the meantime, between time, those are all the places where you can find us, because we will be back after each and every Toronto Raptors game to break it all down. And boy, isn't it a whole lot better when we're talking about dubs, right? So much talk before the season started. What is this team going to be like? What's going to be going down? And we get a dub on opening night. Scotiabank Arena was rocking. Everyone was hyped up. It was dope to see. Huge shouts to the Raps. 97-94 win over the T-Wolves. I got to say, Anthony Edwards, oof, that guy looks legit. Very good to see there. I got to also shout out the people that are on my Instagram feed right now. What I'm going to do here, again, this is just getting the word out. You know, the meme with Stringer Bell says, put the word out, we back up. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just flooding the market here. Wherever Sheldon Alexander is, you can find this pod right now, but I'm pushing you towards Canada Hoops Daily. That's the new project. That's what got me here doing Wrap It Up. Wrap It Up brought back thanks to Canada Hoops Daily. That's the name. That's why it says Canada Hoops Daily presents Wrap It Up. And for those who might not be familiar with what Wrap It Up is, it is your live and interactive Toronto Raptors post-game show. We take comments and questions. We read. We want to hear from you, the fans, because this is your show just as much as it's quote unquote my show. We're here talking Raptors basketball, the good, the bad, everything in between. We like celebrating the dubs on a big night like this. So much talk about what the Raptors would be heading into this season, and yet they start off on a good note. That over-under number was what, 36.5? Hit that over, right? Like, it was just, the numbers just sitting there for you, and a team that clearly we can tell the vibes are different once your man's Nick Nurse is gone. You know, Fred VanVleet also gone. But either way, you're looking at a team that the vibes are clearly different. Fred being out for Dennis Schroeder, just in terms of, like, you know, let's say the way that Dennis Schroeder's having fun. Clearly, we're seeing him knocking down threes. He's doing the ice water in my veins, Selly, all the time. You know, people are fired up there. It's just interesting to see what's going on so far. And if you're the Toronto Raptors, you got to be happy with night one, and especially with the performance by the future of your team. I know it's kind of weird because the way that we've been talking about Scotty Barnes and what happened last year with Fred VanVleet and all that, there's been a lot of interesting talk about what's going on, right? But the reality is the future is Scotty Barnes. And after night one of the Scotty Barnes era, I know Pascal's still here. I know OG's still here, but we've had back-to-back off seasons now where we've been told that Scotty Barnes is untradeable for Damian Lillard and Kevin Durant. That tells me this is the Scotty Barnes era. That's just me connecting the dots. I don't know. Messiah and Bobby are way smarter than me, but I'm just saying that's what those things indicate to me. Night one of the season, Scotty Barnes, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists for Scotty. And I'm sure, I saw a couple huge blocks. And that's what you really need from Scotty Barnes, doing it on both ends of the floor, dominating performance, a little bit of everything, stuffing the stat sheet. That's what we like to see from Scotty Barnes, and he does it after night one. What we'll normally do here, I'll go through just what happened in the game quickly, recap everything, and then we take the comments and questions live. So one thing I'll say, if you're seeing this podcast and you're watching it right now on Instagram, what I need you to do is head over to Twitter, go to Canada Hoops or Can Hoops Daily, follow us there, watch the live stream. That way I can take your comments and questions and you can be a part of the show. Or you can go to my YouTube page, which is Sheldon Alexander, and make sure you also go to Canada Hoops Daily on YouTube. You'll be ready. That way you get the notifications as soon as we're back up after each and every game. And this is where the vibes will be. Our OG listeners will know exactly the time that we have each and every night here on the Toronto Raptors post-game show. It's all about you, the fans, reading your comments, taking the pulse of what's going on, the vibes, as I like to say, within the Raptors fan base. We'll get to that, and we'll also get to just what is Canada Hoops Daily, as this is kind of like the first project out of Canada Hoops Daily. There will be so much more there because under that brand, we will be talking about Canada basketball, your Canadian NBA players, the Toronto Raptors. We'll be talking about NCAA stars, so much going on. Wrap It Up is just back under this brand to kind of launch this project that is Canada Hoops Daily. So I'm excited. You're excited. The Raps are excited. Let's go with the show. Again, Raptors win 97-94 over the TWolves. Dennis Schroeder, 22 points, 7 assists. OG Anunoby with 20 points and 6 rebounds. Your man, Scotty Barnes, 17, 8, and 5. And let's go through the game a little quickly here. And again, for my folks watching on Twitter, just bless us with the like, bless us with the share. Let the streets know we back. One thing though, Raptors starters, okay? We know it's opening night. We know the vibes are high on opening night. And we're seeing the starting lineup, and it's very interesting to me anyways, because Gary Trent Jr. obviously opted back in. And my thought was he would opt back in because there'd be more time for him to shine in the starting lineup. Well, the starters, Dennis Schroeder, OG, Scotty Barnes, Pascal, and Jakob Poeltl. So as of now anyways, hey, Gary Trent Jr., you might have to do your work off the bench. And that's okay, because we know he has the ultimate green light coming off the bench, right? So we'll see how that goes. After night one, Gary Trent looked all right. Got to give him some credit there for being able to adjust to just exactly what's gone on here, because we know it's not exactly the script in terms of how he would have plotted out when he did opt back in. But in terms of tonight's game, the Raps got out to a very early lead. Things are looking good. They really, you can tell, and they did this through the preseason. They were 4-0 in the preseason, playing, for those who might not know, Darko's 0.5 offense, which is just quick decision-making. You get the ball. There's no ISO ball. You're not standing around and dribbling. You're getting the ball. You're making a decision. I always used to joke around that it reminds me, I remember we had an old high school coach. Shouts to Northern Red Knights, by the way. Always repping Northern Red Knights. But Mr. Lilico always used to tell us, he's like, you dribble the ball 3 times. You got your first dribble, you got your one move, and then you got a counter. And after that, you better be passing the ball, shooting the ball, or you're just not dribbling anymore. And that always used to make me laugh because it sounded so funny. But the reality is you're trying to encourage ball movement. You're not trying to have the defense just stagnant. And, when you're playing ISO ball, everyone's just standing there watching you. You don't want that. You want the ball movement. You want to force the squad, the defense, to have to adjust and move and find different people. So that's first off. I liked how the Raptors really looked to start off this game. When they push the pace, that's how they're going to play, because not a lot of teams don't want to run night in, night out. The Raptors want to use their long legs. They want to use their athletes to get up and down the floor, cause havoc on defense, turn over the ball, get up and down and get easy baskets, right? When you're not a great shooting 3-point team, you got to get easy baskets. And how do you do that? By playing defense. That's what the Raptors want to do. It got out to a good start, got out to a great start, actually. But that's when we get to your man's Anthony Edwards, who did some damage, especially early on. First quarter, he went on his own personal 10-0 run to kind of bring the TWolves back into this game. While he was going on his 10-0 run, you had the Raptors going 3 minutes and 20 seconds without scoring in the first quarter. And this, kids, was a very sloppy first quarter, which is to be expected because it's the first game of the regular season, right? Preseason, dudes aren't really turning it up like that. So the first couple games, things are going to be a little rough. Guys are probably jittery in front of the home crowd. It's a home opener. There's definitely a buzz in the building. And we saw how sloppy it was to start this game. But that said, Raptors are playing fast. When you're playing fast, you're also going to get some turnovers. That's okay. That's okay. I give huge props to Darko because, when you're handing the keys to your team and saying you want to run, you want all this ball movement, you also do that expecting that there will be turnovers. And if you see what happens, you see the vibes on the bench, Darko's pretty chill, right? He's not getting too mad. He's just talking to everyone, making sure everything's okay. He's encouraging the team. Definitely different vibes from your man's Nicky Nurse. And I'm not piling on Nick Nurse. I'm just saying the way that it ended, right? That's what I'm saying. It's such a stark contrast to see Darko's vibes on the bench in comparison to Nick Nurse, and especially with how this team is going early on in the season, meaning he's also trying to play a lot of people. But we'll start with the starting point guard, who is Dennis Schroeder. And for those who might not be familiar with Dennis Schroeder's work, a reminder, after the Raptors missed out on Fred VanVleet, he obviously left to go to the Houston Rockets. He took the bag. Ain't nobody going to knock Freddie for taking the bag because, you got to take that bag. That was a big boy bag. You got to take that. Nobody's going to knock Fred for that. But the Raptors moved quickly, and they moved quickly to Dennis Schroeder. The key here was that Dennis Schroeder has a relationship with Darko when Darko was the assistant coach in OKC. Obviously, if we remember, Schroeder had a great year on that squad with a young Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and, of course, Chris Paul. And Lou Dort was hanging around there too. But Dennis Schroeder and Darko are very familiar. There's a trust factor there. So Darko has no problem handing the keys to Schroeder because he knows what he's capable of. And on night one, Schroeder balled out. He looked really good, just leading the way for the Toronto Raptors in terms of ball handling, in terms of leading the offense, in terms of pushing the pace. I thought he did really good, Dennis Schroeder, early. He was hitting some shots. The one knock coming in were people talking about, could he hit threes? Could he shoot outside consistently? Well, he started off the game well. He was knocking down threes from jump. And I think if you're the Raptors, that's a great sign. That is something that you're not really expecting, but if you're able to get that, I think that's a really, really good look for the Toronto Raptors. And Dennis Schroeder did the job, because the other part to remember about this was when you're swapping out Dennis Schroeder for Fred VanVleet, you're giving up a little bit of shooting. But Schroeder in this game, I don't know if he's going to be taking 8 threes in every single game that he plays for the Raps. But on night one, he was 4 for 8 from 3. And if he's not going to shoot 50% from 3 the whole season, obviously. We know that. But if you're able to shoot 40%, you're going to take that from Dennis Schroeder. And 4 from 8 from 3, 8 of 17 overall for Schroeder, 22 points, as mentioned, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, a very solid performance from Schroeder on night one, and a great start for the Raptors. When things can get a little jittery for a lot of guys in maybe different positions, it was good that Schroeder was there to really lead the way. The other thing to focus in on is the bench production. Precious came in early. Not a lot from, I was surprised to not see Chris Boucher in this game. Chris Boucher DNP CD to start the season. Even with Darko extending the bench minutes, going 10 deep, still no minutes for Chris Boucher. And really, it wasn't really 10 deep because, I mean, Grady Dick played 2 minutes. So interesting stuff there for sure. But Precious came out and gave energy. And that's what you need from Precious Achiuwa. He's running the floor. He had 2 massive slams. That gets the crowd hype. That gets everyone going. And it was 25-25 after one. Tie game. Anthony Edwards had 12 early. Again, he had his own 10-0 run. Precious had 6, as mentioned, and that's what you need from your bench guys. Whether it's Precious, whether it's going to be Chris Boucher, you need the energy from those guys coming off the bench, and especially Malachi Flynn, who was buried to the bench under Nick Nurse, never really got many minutes at all. And clearly we're seeing here the Darko regime. The plan is to give Malachi a shot here. Give Malachi minutes. You need bench minutes. You need bench guard play. And Malachi, he's getting the keys, getting the opportunity here to do that. So that's going to be something that's super interesting to see as they go forward. So I love the Raps playing with pace. I love the fact that Grady Dick checks in and he gets a standing applause from the crowd. That whole thing is going to be an interesting watch for the whole season for sure. Just the fan fest, the love affair that Grady has already with the fan base here. That's going to be super interesting to see year in or throughout the whole entire season. Also in that first half, OG Anunoby. I thought OG had a really, really good game, and I liked the confidence that he had with the basketball. I think, what happened at times with the Raps before, especially with Fred, was OG had to think a lot, like where's his position? Is he sitting in the corner? Does he get to handle the ball? Can he lead the offense? Can he run the pick and roll? And now he just seemed a little more free, especially to start this game. I like the way that he was handling the ball and stepping into 3-point shots. If OG's doing that confidently, that's huge for the Toronto Raptors because they need him. If they're going to make the playoffs, they need OG to be that confident. And he started off with 13 points, 3 for 5 from 3. The Raptors early on in that second quarter, they started off 3 of 4 from 3 themselves. And Scotty Barnes doing his thing as one of the primary ball handlers, getting the rebound, getting out, pushing the pace. I thought that was just a great job by Scotty Barnes for sure. I'm going to use this time to remind people. I see some comments filling up. And again, everyone that used to watch the pod knows this show's all about the comments. I will get there. So continue to send in your comments. And then after we go through the recap, I'll get to the comments. So just know we're getting there. Again, though, second quarter, Raptors 10-2 run. Schroeder hits another big 3 right in front of the bench. And listen, as someone whose day job is putting together the openings for the Toronto Raptors games, I like the celly and the energy from Dennis Schroeder, who was knocking down threes, turning to the bench, doing the ice water in my veins celly. I like the vibes. I like that. He's hype. He's hitting shots. He's getting the bench involved. He's getting the crowd involved. That's huge. He was into double digits early. He had 2 threes early, add in a couple assists. And I want to take some time to give some credit to Pascal Siakam as well here. Because in that first half, Pascal Siakam really, really struggled. And you're going to look at his numbers at the end of the game, and he had 15 points on 5 of 17 shooting. He was 3 of 5 from 3, which is pretty good. But he also had 7 rebounds, 6 assists. But I want to give Pascal credit because early in that second quarter, my guy was struggling. He started this game 1 of 8. 1 of 8. And that's really tough when you think about just all the talk and the narrative going on surrounding Pascal Siakam in the offseason and now coming into this Raptor season. That's tough. But give my guy credit because he figured out a way to still be productive until the shots started falling, started getting to the line, and then we'll get to it, but late, hitting some big threes. But again, this game was really close from the TWolves standpoint because of Anthony Edwards, who was just getting busy. Closed out that third quarter. My guy had 16 points. He had 8 rebounds early. Alvin Williams talking about comparisons to Kobe. And it's like, you hear that and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Anytime you start making the comparisons to, legends, it kind of causes a little bit of a pause. But when you actually take in what Alvin's talking about here, it's just the calmness, the presence that my guy has, the ease in which he gets to his spots and gets buckets. Like, you can't speed him up really. He's doing everything at his pace, and he just hits tough shots. And very few people we've seen been able to do that at a young age. And, the Kobe comparison's interesting. We also saw what he did with Team USA in the summer. And I don't know, sky's the limit for a guy like Anthony Edwards. It was very cool to watch and see just the confidence that he brought into this season. So he had a massive game. But at halftime, the Raptors led 53-51 at the half. As mentioned, Edwards, though, had 18 and 9 at the half. Towns had 12. Meanwhile, for the Raps, Schroeder had 10. OG leading the way for the Raps with 13. In that third quarter, the Raptors starters get off to another good start. Notice a trend here, right? Schroeder hits a three. Schroeder comes down the floor with a nice between the legs pass from Scotty Barnes. Barnes finds Schroeder. Schroeder knocks it down. Scotty, he's always looking for, the nice, dish pass, a nice no look pass. But that one was pretty good through the legs. Can't lie. As a dude that, used to enjoy, one of my first jobs is doing court cuts. So, I always love the little highlights, a little razzle dazzle here and there. So it's good to see from Scotty Barnes early on and see some chemistry between him and Dennis Schroeder. Because if those are your two main ball handlers, you want to see the chemistry there early. And hey, looked pretty good. But while the Raptors starters got into it, Pascal got into it. Finally, that started that third quarter, gets the ball, and he was going downhill. And that's a key for people who have watched Pascal Siakam over his career. To me, the key is starting inside and then working his way out to then shooting the threes. And it was just good to see him do that and get downhill to start that third quarter. Raptors were up 8. Schroeder again on the break. And, he was able to just blow by Mike Conley, who at this stage, I don't know if he can stay with Dennis Schroeder. That's a tough ask at that point. But Scotty Barnes again on the break, getting the ball from OG on the outlet pass. And, as if it would be one-on-one, you really just can't do anything there. There's nothing you can do. Wraps up 10 at that point, timeout, and a great, great start. You had Malachi hitting threes. Anytime you get that bench production, this is a big year for him. And if you're able to get production from the Raptors bench, that's really going to be a huge part of this season. And that's the key. When you think about it, though, if you have Gary Trent Jr., you have Precious Achua and Malachi getting a lot of minutes off that bench, those are your main bench guys, you expect some level of production while you still have, one of, if not two of, Scotty, Schroeder, OG, two of your starters still out there. You expect your bench to not give up the lead. But that's not necessarily what happened here, because after Malachi hits that 3 in the third, the TWolves go on a run of their own. Led by guess who? Anthony Edwards, doing it again. Part of an 11-3 run to cut the lead to 2. That Raptors lead just disappeared. And Edwards, not only scoring, found Shake Milton in the corner for 3. That gave the TWolves the lead at 74-73. But for the Raps, they had Gary and Scotty on the floor, Malachi missing a wild layup, and that was just a tough end to the third quarter. And that's where it's going to be interesting to see what the unit is going to be going forward. Longtime Raptors fans will know the legendary status of Kyle and the bench, right? I mean, the bench mob is one thing, as Raptors fans will remember, but Kyle and the bench was a thing. And what that necessarily is just the ability to figure out which one of your starters can lead your bench unit. Because a lot of talk is about who's your backup point guard, who are your guys coming off the bench. But the real key here for these good teams is which one of your starters are you leaving in that can really lead that bench unit. And the Raps might still be figuring that part out. That was a struggle they had last year in the limited bench minutes they had. But if you're trying to extend the bench, one way that you can do that is figuring out, is it going to be Scotty? Is it going to be Pascal? Is it going to be Dennis Schroeder? We don't know. But early on in the season, I feel like that's one of the things we're going to find out from Darko, which way he wants to go. I see a lot of waves in the Instagram chat. Thank you guys. I see you. Blessings again. If you're watching this on Instagram, Make sure you follow Canada Hoops Daily on Instagram. Hit us with the like, join the show there. You can like that account. You'll get all the information on all the developments with this project, Wrap It Up and Canada Hoops Daily. But thank you to all the people watching on my Instagram account. Appreciate you. Just so you know, the pod will not always be here. So make sure if you're on Instagram right now, you follow Canada Hoops Daily, because this live pod will not be on my Instagram feed. Just letting you know. But as we continue here with the recap, the TWolves, after 3 quarters, they led 74-73. And it was a weird third quarter because the Raps started the third shooting 8 of 13. They had an 8-point lead, and then that went away with the bench, which went 1 for 9 from the floor. Minnesota went on a 14-3 run. And if you're the Raptors, you're kind of looking, thinking, oh no, what's going on here? But it's okay. After night one, everything was okay. We're not talking blowing leads, because we're talking about the Raptors starters coming back in the fourth quarter and making plays. Whether it was Scotty Barnes on the defensive end with huge blocks, whether it was Pascal shaking off his tough play in the first half to knock down crunch time threes, they just executed down the stretch. And that is a great thing to see, especially in night one, especially with all the uncertainty about what is this team going to look like. The Raptors do the job. 97-94 victory. They start the season 1-0. I mean, Darko's first win, but really, if we're being honest here, my guy won 4 games in the preseason. 5-0 Darko, right? Raptors season total. Again, I keep bringing it up because it's funny to me. The Raptors season total being 36.5. Like, that should be insulting to this team to see that. For Masai and company, the team that he built, that is a perennial, like 45 win team, flirting with 50 for a while, but always above 500, right? And now they're telling you 36.5. Well, great start on night one. Again, Raptors win 97-94 over the TWolves. Dennis Schroeder with 22 points and 7 assists. 4 of 8 from three-point land for Dennis Schroeder, which is incredible. Great three-point shooting from the Raptors. They shot 40% as a team, but let's highlight Dennis Schroeder, 4 of 8 from 3. You had OG Anunoby, 4 of 9 from 3. I don't know if OG's going to shoot 9 threes a game. Wow. And Pascal Siakam, 3 of 5 from 3. Pretty good. Pretty good indeed from three-point land if you're the Toronto Raptors. In terms of the Minnesota Timberwolves, 26 points from Anthony Edwards. But here's the thing. He got 26 points, and we know he started off hot. When you look at that, 8 of 27 from the floor. The Raptors made him work. And after a hot start, things became a lot tougher for the young star, Anthony Edwards, because 26 points on 27 field goal attempts, that's not that good. But got to give my guy credit. He also finished with 14 rebounds as well. So he's doing a little bit of everything. I'm still very interested to see what happens with this team overall, because I don't buy the whole Cat and Rudy Gobert front court. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Cat, 8 of 25, 2 of 10 from 3. Karl Anthony Towns attempted the most threes in this game. 2 of 10 from 3. 8 of 25 from the floor for 19 points. Wow. Rudy Gobert, 15 points, 13 rebounds in a losing effort for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And as I said, a great, great start for the Toronto Raptors as they win big. Huge shouts to all the people that are liking and subscribing wherever you're at here doing the Wrap It Up podcast. I appreciate y'all for coming back out and supporting this. Again, the Canada Hoops Daily Wrap It Up podcast. This is just dope to be back. I'm loving the vibes. I'm feeling the energy. I also want to take a second here to shout out Rochester. So people who follow me, people know I do the openings for the Raptors games that are on Sportsnet. I got my guy Rochester. He gave us his track Big Dreams, and that was the theme for the opening. We got kids from the Scarborough Blues to be in the opening as well. We filmed them at one of their practices. Huge shouts to them. Talked to the players on media day. it was just a whole team effort in putting that together. But that song, Big Dreams, is going to be bumping in my head for like the next week, month. Like that song is a banger, first off. Secondly, I mean, I keep singing it because we're just editing it for the past week, and it's just been in my head. That's how catchy it is. But again, huge shouts to all the people. I want to apologize to the new people that might be tuning in, and they're like, "Wait, this guy's all over the place. He's just rambling and rambling and rambling." Listen, that's just the vibes of the show. You can rock with it or not, but either way, I thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to tell your friends. I appreciate that. Let's get to some comments though, because I want to hear from the people. I'm going to go to the comment section here. And with this new setup, I can actually like show the comments on the screen. What? Didn't know I could do that. We got some people here. Let's see. Where do we want to start? Zero Drip Dante says, "Hey, yo, been a minute, fam." I had to turn on my Toronto accent there for him. I hope I did that justice there, Dante. But yes, it has been a minute. And I just want to thank the folks behind Canada Hoops Daily for getting me to come back and do this Wrap It Up podcast because it's just a lot of fun. So huge shouts to Canada Hoops Daily. Again, Canada Hoops Daily presents Wrap It Up. We back. Put the word out. We back, people. Elijah says, "Oh, hey, Sheldon, just got in. Are we doing this all year or only some games?" Well, Elijah, I'll tell you right now, the plan is to do this after every single Toronto Raptors game. So send in your comments and questions. Again, I see you guys are on YouTube sending in the questions. Again, a reminder for the people on YouTube. Make sure you go and follow Canada Hoops Daily because that is where this podcast will live every single Toronto Raptors game. It's not going to be under my feed. It's going to be under the Canada Hoops Daily feed. So make sure it's under my feed tonight, but that's just to let the word get out there. So make sure you go and subscribe to the Canada Hoops Daily feed on YouTube. But yeah, Elijah, we're back. We're here. Wrap it up. Let's see here. I should probably, it's funny because I'm putting these on screen. I should probably, a good idea would be to make sure that I read the comments before I put it up full screen. That might be a good idea, right? Let's see here. Another question about, I just answered this, but hey, Sheldon, this is from Kate's who says, "You're back. Will you be doing every game this year? By the way, love the Don Valley podcast. I look forward to that too." Wow. Okay. Huge shouts to the DVP boys and the DVP squad. Thank you for that comment. Yes, we will be back. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. Yeah. I got to say the On Blast podcast network, we got a lot going on. Times are good. Everything's going well. We building, we moving. Everything is good. We got the DVP pod going. You Killed It is still going. We got the picks pod going. I promise my picks will be better this week. I promise. Sorry I let you guys down, but the picks will be better this week. But yes, thank you for watching the DVP pod as well. Tell everybody we're back. We're back on Wrap It Up. Keen says, "OG had a tough assignment and still was so effective." That's a great comment, Keen. And I got to be honest with you. I agree because OG, with Fred gone, we need OG to do a lot more. If you're the Toronto Raptors, the expectations of what you need on a night in, night out basis from OG Anunoby, it's just a lot more. We know that he's a top line defender. We know that he's supposed to be someone who is, flirting with all NBA. I mean, he probably should be on all NBA every single year, but we know how that goes when you play for the Toronto Raptors, right? But even with his all NBA level defense, the assignment now for OG is to step into that position as to where he is doing it on both ends of the floor. That's just the next progression in what his career is and what his career has been so far. Every single year, it's like, is this year OG puts it together? Is this year OG puts it together? And you know what? My guy's a free agent next year. So this might want to be the year that he puts it all together because it could be worth a big bag for OG Anunoby. So yeah, great observation through night one. Can you get buckets? Can you guard Anthony Edwards? That's a difficult assignment. But through night one, as mentioned, Anthony Edwards shooting 8 of 27 from the floor. Meanwhile, OG a tidy 7 of 13 from the floor, 4 of 9 from 3, 20 points from OG. And as Los says on Instagram, is OG a dog or nah? Pat Bev a true waste man. Thank you for that comment, by the way. Again, if you're on Instagram, make sure you go to Twitter, Can Hoops Daily, follow there, because this pod will not be on Instagram all the time. But thank you for that comment. Pat Bev, if people are unaware of what my guy here is referring to, it's the fact that Patrick Beverley, on his podcast, said that the Raptors have no dogs. He wouldn't be afraid, I'm paraphrasing, but he said he wouldn't be afraid to see Pascal Siakam or OG Anunoby in a dark alley. He said the Raptors have no dogs. I'll say Patrick Beverley has a lot of dog, but he lacks a lot of game, if that makes sense. Pat Bev does a lot of talking. That's just what he does. What I think, and I don't know this, but Pat Bev is now on the Sixers. Pat Bev's new coach, his name is Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse, obviously, it didn't end well for Nick Nurse in Toronto. Nick Nurse is making his way back to Toronto on Saturday. And I think that Pat Bev, in his mind, thinks that he's taking some of the heat away from Nick Nurse. He's going to come in. I'm pretty sure, if I know Raptors fans, they're going to boo Pat Bev every time he touches the ball on Saturday. He's going to get booed. And he's going to love that. He's going to be woofing up the crowd. He's going to be hyping up the crowd. That's what Pat Bev's going to do, because that's what Pat Bev does. So this whole, the Raptors have no dogs, all that fun stuff. It's like, who are you, Pat Bev? What do you do? Again, a lot of dog, not a lot of game from Pat Bev. So whatever. But it is easy to get Raptors fans frustrated and upset. Shouts to my guy, Chris Tran. Says, glad you're back. Thank you, my dude. Appreciate you, my dude. Glad to have you back following the pod and rocking with us here on the Canada Hoops Daily Presents Wrap It Up, Raps postgame show. Chris's question is, what are your thoughts on Flynn? He didn't look good, but I'll give him a few more chances to adapt. So here's a tough part with Malachi Flynn. You got to just see what you have here. If you notice, the Raptors didn't extend Malachi Flynn. They didn't extend Precious Achiuwa. I mean, this Raptors team, they got more guys that are going to be free agents next year than they have guys signed next year. It's going to be real interesting to see how this year plays out for sure, with a lot of expiring deals. But in terms of Malachi Flynn, one could argue he hasn't really gotten enough time to show his full capabilities, to show just exactly what he's capable of. And I feel like you want to give him a chance, see what he's got, see what he's able to do, knowing that he's going to get consistent minutes. Because I think consistently what's happened to Malachi Flynn is that he's not confident with his minutes at all. And so you might start, he gets into a game and he's thinking the first mistake, he's going to get yanked. Nobody wants to play like that. Nobody wants that to be the case. I just think that at a certain point, if you're the Raptors organization, you want to see exactly what you have with Malachi Flynn and make sure that when you make your decision next offseason, you're at least making it an informed decision. Because to date, I can't really say that I've seen Malachi Flynn get enough of a chance to really see what he can do, to really see, is he a guy that you can rely on to give you consistent bench minutes? Malachi Flynn, in his minutes in this game, he played 10 minutes, 1 of 3, didn't really do much, 4 fouls, 2 assists, but he's out there and he's looking confident. He had a couple bad turnovers, but you want to see him play free. You want to give him a chance to play free. And, everything we've heard from Darko so far is that he's going to play 10 guys. And if that's the case, you're playing 10 guys, that's going to include your backup point guard, Malachi Flynn. So yeah, good start to the season for the Raps in terms of getting their bench minutes. Cause Darko's saying that's what his goal is. Make sure you play the bench, roll 10 deep. Let's get to another comment though. I'm just hype. Good way to start the season. Good building block. I don't have much to say. Then let's figure out how to build off this. Listen, the vibes are high in Raptorland, and you know what? I don't blame y'all, Raptors fans. I really don't. I just think that it's good to be back. I think it's good to start the season on a positive. And what more do you want if you are a Toronto Raptors fan than seeing your squad go out there and start off the season in the win column? I just think that's good for the vibes, especially after such a weird offseason. I don't know if people saw the interview that shout out to the homie Danielle Michaud interviewed all the players on media day, but the story was played it on the pregame show, but it involved talking about Fred VanVleet and the comments that he made in the offseason about, you know, the older players and the younger players not really vibing last season. And Scotty Barnes, when asked about this, he kind of didn't answer. He was like, I don't know. I think you should, like, people go to the Sportsnet page. You can see the interview there. Go to YouTube and find that out. Cause I'm telling you, it's worth it. It was very weird seeing Scotty Barnes's answer to that question. Cause to me, it's like, you're coming into media day. You would think that you're going to be asked about Fred VanVleet. No, like that would be my assumption. I don't know like why you would assume that you wouldn't be asked about Fred VanVleet, but Scotty Barnes seemed thrown off and he didn't know how to answer it. And it made for a little bit of some awkward television. But at the same time, he had Precious acknowledge, yeah, something was off. And we know something was off. You could see it all last year. So it's good that this year, start the season, the vibes are back. The vibes are strong. My guy LT, who is on the let's see here. Where's this comment? This is on YouTube. Again, I'm going to use every reminder to let people know if you're on the YouTube page right now, you're following Sheldon Alexander. This Wrap It Up post-game show will not be on that feed. It will be on the Canada Hoops Daily YouTube feed. So right now, thank you. I'll take all the comments and questions there, but just make sure while you're watching, you go and follow Canada Hoops Daily on YouTube. Huge shouts. My guy LT says, cue up the mace. Welcome back. Wrap It Up being back can only mean one thing for this season. Whoa, a trophy. Whoa, 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 LT. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let's slow down. Let's slow down. Let's slow down. Let's slow down. We're just trying to beat the win total here. We're trying to get to 500 here. We got some time to go before we're talking about trophies, but I appreciate the vibes, my dude. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you blessing us with your presence here on the Wrap It Up podcast. Again, some house cleaning stuff. Huge shouts to Canada Hoops Daily for bringing back the Wrap It Up podcast. I will be back after each and every Toronto Raptors game. Sometimes I'll have one of my friends. Sometimes I'll have, maybe someone who follows the team, who works, following the team. You just never know who might be here. And a lot of times it'll just be me and you, the fans, hollering, chilling, watching Raptors basketball. And I appreciate that because this is your show. People who are familiar with the old iteration of the show know that this is your show just as much as it is my show. In fact, more than it is my show, if I'm being honest, because I love interacting with the fans and getting the vibes from what's going on in the city involving this squad. So huge shouts to everyone for tuning into this. The Canada Hoops Daily presents Wrap It Up, the Raps post-game show. Remember, we got some, if you want to know when we're up, you want to know what else is coming on after on the Canada Hoops Daily brand, you got to follow us on social media, Can Hoops Daily on Twitter. You're also looking at Canada Hoops Daily on Instagram. That's where you'll be able to find everything. And of course, if you don't catch the show live, you can go to Spotify and Apple. Canada Hoops Daily will be there soon as well. Huge shouts to you guys for tuning in to this. We back. Tell the streets we back up. We're back on the Wrap It Up podcast, and I couldn't be happier. I want to thank everyone for joining us here on the Wrap It Up podcast because this has been a lot of fun. The vibes are high. Everyone's happy. The Toronto Raptors come through with a huge victory, 97-94. A busy week as well for the Toronto Raptors kids. This is a Wednesday game to open up the season. Then if we look at the Raptors' upcoming schedule, they are Friday in Chicago, Saturday back home to take on Nick Nurse, Joel Embiid, maybe James Harden in the Sixers. Who knows what's going on there? That's a story for another day on its own. Then on Monday, you got the Blazers. So, I mean, we're hitting you a lot right now with the Raptors for sure. Again, Friday, Saturday, Monday, we'll be here. Wrap it up. This is Canada Hoops Daily. We appreciate y'all. Raptors win 97-94. Big win. Big win. Remember we used to have the big rings? Remember that was a thing? What a time to be alive. I don't know if I can bring up the what a time to be alive. Well, you know what? Maybe I should bring back the what a time to be alive. Because Wrap Up is back. What a time to be alive indeed. You hear the tunes, you hear the beats come in. Why not be hyped? Let the beat rock for a bit. Let the beat just rock as we rock out to the Raptors season opening victory. 97-94. The man Scotty Barnes stuffing the stat sheet. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Great start for the Toronto Raptors. It's been so long, I was trying to look up my notes to be like, wait, what did I used to say to start this pod? What did I used to say to end this pod? It's been so long. But you know what? I used to say the same thing after every single pod. And it was quoting, someone by the name Meek Mill. Because it always hit me. There's always the truth, And I'm going to bring this full circle. I mentioned the opening that we did. When we did that shoot with the kid basketball team, shouts to my boy Dwayne, by the way, who was able to organize and get the kids to come out so we could record their practice. But here's the thing. That was such a bless because it was such a reminder as to why we do all these things, why I put in the time doing these podcasts or doing my job working on the Raps, because I love sports. I love basketball. And on that shoot, you're watching these kids, the big smiles on their face. Go to my Twitter page or the YouTube page, and you can, not my YouTube page, the Sportsnet YouTube page, I'm pretty sure it's there. But if you go to, the Sportsnet Twitter page, I retweeted it on mine. I retweeted it on the Canada Hoops Daily page as well. And watch that opening. And when you see the smile on these kids' faces, that gave me the juice. That gave me the energy. What am I mad about, right? I talk about sports every day. I talk about basketball every day. What a time to be alive indeed. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the debut episode. We're back again for the very first time here on the Canada Hoops Daily. Wrap it up. Raps Postgame show. Thank you to everyone for tuning in, because I used to pray for times like this to rhyme like this. This is Wrap It Up. We back. Tell the streets. Let the streets know. Until next time, which is what? Friday? We're back already on Friday? No rest. We're hitting you hard with the Toronto Raptors here. Canada Hoops Daily presents Wrap It Up. Till next time, see ya.